Hey, it's John. Welcome back to the show. And welcome back to the latest edition of the Live Cuts. The premise of this series is to talk about live albums that don't get enough love or recognition. Before we discuss the album today, let me introduce you to my distinguished guest. You no doubts know him from his wonderful channel that he has with Logan Collins on YouTube called Slogan's Rock and Metal Extravaganza. And you may also have seen him on appearances on Grant's Rock Warehouse. Sidney Cini, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's cool to be here. Finally get to be on this channel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Love Blue Oyster Cult, so it was really fun to do this.
Awesome. And now you know what we're going to talk about.
Oh, sorry, I just
Yeah,
kind
it's
of,
all good. We're going to talk about Blue Oyster Cult's first live album, On Your Feet or On Your Knees. This was released on February 27, 1975 on Columbia Records. This would be the band's first live album. It will come out after their first three studio albums, self-titled debut, Tyranny Mutation, and Secret Treaties, respectively, often called the Black and White period. This hit number 22 on both the US Billboard charts and the Canadian album charts, and it hit number 19 in France. But let's get into who played on the album. This is the classic Blue Oyster Cult band here. We have Eric Bloom on vocals, stun guitar, and synthesizer. They're the only band who call it stun instead of rhythm guitar. Don Roser, also known as Buck Dharma, on lead guitar and vocals on Before the Kiss of Red Cap and Last Days of May. Albert Bouchard on drums, guitar, and lead vocals on Cities on Flame at Rock and Roll. Joe Bouchard on bass and lead vocal on Hot Rails to Hell. And Alan Lanier on rhythm guitar and all keyboards. This was produced by Murray Krugman and Sandy Pearlman. Eric and Buck are still in the band today. They're still out touring. Not quite as much as they used to, but they still play the East Coast quite a bit. So, this album was recorded at a variety of venues: the Academy of Music in New York City, New York, Paramount Theater in both Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, Show Palace in Phoenix, Arizona, Long Beach Arena in Long Beach, California, PNE Coliseum in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey. It was recorded on April 27, 1974, and various dates from October 5 through October 21, 1974. So, Sidney, when did you first get acquainted with Blue Oyster Cult's music?
So I'd have to think about this one. I would have to say Agents of Fortune because that's like the album that everyone knows. Don't Fear the Reaper, and the other hits like Burning for You, Godzilla, of course. Yeah, I think I just like the only thing because again, I got into most music that my parents were listening to. I heard it all my life from them and I actually liked it. So it's one of those rare occurrences where I actually liked my parents' music. So yeah, so I really got into it. And all of my, they were one of those bands that my parents just for whatever reason they knew like the hits and stuff. Just one of those bands that just kind of went over their head a little bit. It's not that they didn't like them, it's just one of those bands that just kind of passed them by because there's just so much music. They were never a huge mega band aside from like those few hits, right? So, but I think the only thing my dad had on CD was Agents of Fortune, and I guess it's like sort of like greatest hits. It's actually called On Flames with Rock and Roll. I think it came out like in the 90s. So it's just like a compilation of that. And I remember listening to that and Agents of Fortune all the time because that's all I had. So that's kind of how I became acquainted with them, and then just kind of went on the internet and started like looking them up on there, like on YouTube and things like that, and discovered all their music. And yeah, I ended up falling in love with the even earlier stuff, like the White and Black era is my favorite. I like all their albums. I don't think they ever really put out a bad album. Even Club Ninja, I don't mind, even
Okay.
though it's a little bit more synthy and more still a decent album. I don't think they ever really put out a truly bad album where you're like, oh, I want to shut this off or anything like that. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into them. And it's not really, it's kind of, I guess, underwhelming. Agents of Fortune, everyone kind of probably, for the most part, has the same story, I would imagine. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into them, would be the just basically hearing the hits. And then obviously I want to delve into more because their hits were actually really great. They weren't just like, yeah.
So I remember Don't Fear the Reaper vaguely as a hit because it was getting played heavy when I was 5 years old. And then I remember when Burner for You was a hit back in 1981 when I was 10 years old. And by then I was listening to the radio heavy. And that was getting played on our pop station then. I was surprised that number 40 in the US, the way it was played here, you'd think it was more like a top 20 single.
Yeah.
So in the days where I listened to tons of classic rock on Rock 107, WEZX FM, Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of rock and roll, still locally owned and operated, they did not play much Blue Oyster Cult. Interestingly, it was weird because they toured this area a lot. They actually played close to where I grew up when I was very young before I could go to concerts.
Okay.
But we would only get the three big hits. We get Don't Fear the Reaper, we would get Burner for You, and we would get Godzilla. Once in a blue moon, you might hear Joan Crawford. Okay. Fast forward to the late 90s. I'm playing in a classic rock band. I had to learn Godzilla. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Godzilla was one of
the a fun riff.
Went over because well, a lot of the people who came to see us would say, you guys sound like Rock 107 on a good day. Because we were like, we didn't stick with the songs that were played the most on Rock 107, the ones that were a little deeper is what we would play.
Yeah, the deep cuts.
But we'd always play Godzilla, and that one always went over very well. And I bought that compilation CD that you mentioned.
Okay.
Which I lent out to my friend Frank Temerantz back in about 2000 or so, and I've never seen it again. Frank, please give me that CD. I don't know when I'm going to see you again. But that's where it went. He goes, John, I want to borrow it. I want to learn to sing Don't Fear the Reaper because we would do karaoke.
Okay.
Karaoke. And so fast forward a few years after that, 2014, I finally got to see Blue Oyster Cult live. They would play Penn Speak in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania nearly every year back then. I think the first time I saw them, Foghat was the special guest. They played a little over an hour, and then Blue Oyster Cult closed. I saw them 5 more times after that, including last year when they were a special guest for Bachman Turner Overdrive at the Wind Creek Event Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I was there with the incomparable Nick Esquire and his buddy Dan. We had a great time. So, but as far as getting into them deeper, it was after I saw them the first time, because then I started going and buying all the albums to the point where I knew them well enough that I got to be part of this book that was written by Mark called Dominance and Submission. Wow. The Blue Oyster Cult Canon, and I talk about 4 albums in here, including the self-titled debut. So I've owned most of their albums. There's a few. I don't own Club Ninja. I've heard all the albums. Personally, Hidden Mirror is pretty hard to find these days, but I own most of the albums. Like you, Sidney, this is my favorite era.
Yeah.
The first 3 albums where they were so hungry and they were broke and they were playing all the time. On this tour, they were playing a lot of shows with T-Rex. T-Rex was actually opening for them because T-Rex was their way down. So when they were playing with Blue Oyster Cult at this point, T-Rex would only get like a 7-song set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Blue Oyster Cult would get usually an hour and 20. A lot of the shows that I saw on Setlist FM, they played the songs in the order that they are on this album.
Oh, okay.
But there was one night in Long Beach, California, and TRX couldn't make it. So Blue Oyster Cult played the whole night. And
Wow.
right. And that night they played over 20 songs. And from what
2 hour show.
band, a lot of this album, On Your Feet or On Your Knees, was from that show. But if you look at the set list, and it was the set list from October 12, 1974, it is a wicked set list. And they play, oh God, yeah, they play like 10 songs that night that aren't on this album, and they played all this album.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but we're going to talk about this album. We're going to talk about what our favorite tracks are.
Okay.
Some of what we think of the sound down here. Sidney, what are some of the standout tracks for you on this album?
The standout ones. I would probably go. I'd probably go Red and the Black and Subhuman as the two. Well, even Bucks Boogie, because Bucks Boogie is like it's not on anything else, and they would continue to play this live throughout their career. They still play it today. It's just basically just like this instrumental song. It's like a staple in their live set. There's just phenomenal guitar work, bass, keyboard. It almost reminds me of like something Deep Purple would do, like especially the keyboard solo. Alan's basically John Lord on that.
Right.
But the as far as like songs that were on other albums would probably be Subhuman because it rocks a lot harder than the studio version.
Thank you.
It's faster too. Just there's more energy to it and a bit grittier. It's 3 minutes longer. It's got like a really cool keyboard solo added in there, more guitar solos. Yeah, I just think that's to start off the album that really showcases them as a live band. I like the original on the studio album, but this brings that song to life a lot more. Just way more energy and upbeat. And yeah, Red and the Black I love that studio version. I like this one slightly more because it's faster and heavier, and it's already a heavy song. The bass and drums really stand out on this. They like really go nuts at the end. Just Buck Dharma just goes crazy. And it's funny because Eric Bloom kind of reminds me of Ted Nugent on this album a little bit, especially at the end of this song. We does a little banter at the end of Red and Black. He says, "Like to thank my friends here who gave me this little whip. It's really lovely. I'll keep it and cherish it forever." It's like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, what? It's like, okay. And he almost sounds like Ted. He's kind of doing this weird, like Nugent-like rant thing on the end of that. But yeah, I thought that was a highlight. And yeah, the other one would have been Bucks Boogie. And I don't know. I don't think there's anything bad on here. Like these live versions of these. Meets 262 is great. Like it just all the extended jamming on that, and just there's Buck even doing like some hammer-ons during the solo, and just it just ends really crazy fast, and like some really good riffing. That's another good one. Like I don't think there's any. Like I could just go through basically the entire thing and say it's all good. Like the only one I'll not too I'm gonna say I'm not keen on it. The only one that I like the studio version a lot more is probably Harvester of Eyes, because I almost feel the guitars are a little bit lower in the mix on this for whatever reason. Okay. You hear them a lot more in the other songs. Just seems like they're a little bit, the leads are a little bit buried on that. I don't know. Maybe that's from one of the different shows. I don't know. So I don't think you have to really almost listen to hear the leads almost a little bit. I don't know why, because it's a great song on the studio version. I just thought that was the only down point for me. So you can tell it's performed well, but it's like I can't actually hear it. I'm trying to listen for like the leads a little bit more on that one. But I think everything on this is really, really good, though.
I'm with you on. I like the version of Harvester of Eyes on here, but I just noticed that part, and that's like one of my minor quibs, minor things about this album that I'm not a fan of, is the fact that it was recorded at so many different venues.
Yeah,
and you could tell it was because of the sound, because of how they sound, how they're recorded, and how loud the crowd is.
Yeah, different acoustics too, based off of where you're playing and stuff like that too, right? Like it can affect it.
I think it hurts the continuity.
Yeah.
Having said that, the performances on here are
that's just insane.
This is like I was saying to Sidney off air. This is when they're broke. This is when they're playing 100, 250 dates a year. So by this point, they were so tight.
They had to show how good they were because they were.
They had to show how good they were, and that's how it was back then. You were
Mhm.
a road hog back in the 70s, and they were playing with so many bands. They played a lot of shows with T-Rex around this point,
Yeah.
I was saying, but they played a lot of shows with Kiss. They were playing a lot of shows with Camel, among
Cool.
others. The version of Subhuman on here, I think, is so good. It makes the original on Secret Treaties sound like a blueprint. I mean,
Like a demo or something.
it does
Not
because
a demo. It's not a bad song. It's just this is so much energy to it, right?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic version. I think with a lot of these tracks,
Yeah.
you got the definitive versions.
Yeah.
Red and the Black is excellent.
Yeah.
And it is a wicked version. Now, Red and the Black was originally I'm the lamb, but I ain't no sheep.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
went and
that's right. Yeah, it was.
they rewrote this song and they brought a lot more fire to it. The version on here though is absolutely
Oh
wicked.
yeah.
I love the version of Seven Screaming Dizbusters, which
Yeah.
feels like the record's gonna jump off the
Yeah.
turntable. Like, that's in the studio version. You can imagine how great it is in live.
It's probably my favorite Blue Oyster Cult song is that song. It's got Seven Screaming Dizbusters. I fell in love when I heard that. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. The leads in that, and it's just incredible.
Oh god, and a call and response in there,
Yeah.
between the keyboards
Yeah.
and the guitars is like magnificent. They were force of nature.
They changed that song a little bit. In the middle, it kind of changes, and the solos almost seem different than the original studio version. And the end, he's got some more banter. Says something about Lucifer, and like, I call him Lou. I call him by his first name, Lou. It's like what? It's just kind of funny, but yeah, just
It's a thing. Now, Eric Bloom came up with some good
it's
things.
just like where's he coming up with this stuff? It's
He
just kind
still
of
does.
funny.
He
But
still
like,
comes
does
off with
he
some great
making
lines.
weird jokes? And yeah,
Yeah, he's
okay,
always joking around, and a lot of people are like, "Huh?" But
it's like
everybody
doesn't
knows.
even make any sense half the time. It's just
Yeah,
like
because
yeah,
that's they just know he has a very crazy sense of humor. It's very,
yeah.
very Emmy 262
Oh,
is
that's
wonderful, and that jam at the
yeah,
end, stop start rhythms, is
yeah,
magnificent. It's a song that's already got a lot of fire in it in the
yeah.
original version. Is absolutely fantastic here.
Yeah.
I
It's like
love,
6 minutes longer. It's
yeah,
like way longer. The original's only like 3 minutes. This is like an 8 minute like epic song with all this crazy just jamming and just going nuts. It's just yeah, it's wild.
it is. Before the Kiss of Red Cap, I think kicks ass on here.
Yeah, that's good too.
That's one of my favorites because that's a song that they've been bringing back live lately. They
Yeah.
didn't do it
Okay.
live for a long time, but now I've seen
Yeah.
them actually open a show with. Oh wait, the last time I saw them, they opened with Before the Kiss of Red Cap.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that time, and then another time when I saw them, they were the only band on the bill at Penn's Peak. They opened with Before the Kiss
Nice.
of Red Cap. Yeah, they one thing I really like about Blue Oyster Cult live compared to a lot of these legacy bands, they're like Cheap Trick. They may start
Yeah.
the show a little similar. They may
Right.
end it the same, but you get all these deep tracks in the middle.
Yeah.
And they've been hitting the first album. They've been playing like 3 songs from the first
Wow.
for a while. They've been
That's cool.
yeah, they've been well here. I got the first album
It's like
right.
you don't know what to expect when you go to their show, right? Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of the band. I don't really want to call any bands out, but like there's certain bands you go, you already know what the set list is going to be when you show up, and you're just like, well, that was predictable.
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
just a greatest hit set. It's like, okay,
and they
I
don't
get it because you need people to like want to be there, and for the most part, sadly, people only want to hear the hits. Like, but which is a shame because so many bands have like great deep tracks. It's just like I can imagine like if they started with like "Don't Fear the Reaper," half the people would just leave at that point. It's like, oh, I showed up to hear that song, and it's just like, well,
I'm glad that you mentioned. I'm
it's
so
like, come
glad
on.
you mentioned
And I
that.
love "Don't Fear the Reaper," but like I can hear that on the radio. And it's just like I don't know. It's just
I'm glad that you mentioned that, and you probably have seen this too because you watch a lot of Sea of Tranquility.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I've heard.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. So you know where I'm going,
The
right?
journey thing, yeah, that he mentioned.
Oh, I no, where I was going was you go to see Blue Oyster Cult. I remember Pete saying this. You go to see Blue Oyster Cult, and everybody's just sitting down the whole show, except for some diehards up front, right?
Yeah,
And then you know it's building because they go into Bugs Boogie, and then they
yeah.
go to Godzilla, and then Godzilla people are starting to go up front, and then they go into Don't Fear the Reaper, which usually ends the set proper, and all of a sudden this mass of humanity just comes up front. I'm usually one of the 50 or 100 diehards standing in the front, rocking out to Harvest Moon and
Yeah.
Lips in the Hills. And you'll see, and what's cool is they got a lot of younger fans. I'll see like
Okay, that's cool.
singing the songs to Burn It For You, and they'll have a selfie going on, and I'll be like, oh, that's so sweet, you know. And they're singing Harvest Moon, they're singing all these
That's
deep
wild.
vigil, and they're singing all
Wow.
these deep cuts, and then and then you and then near the end, all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's you got room, right? And then for Don't Fear the Reaper, everybody you just see this massive humanity. All of a
So
sudden, you're
ridiculous.
by a 50, 60 and 60-year-olds, and I'm 54, but that's what happens. But Pete says
That's
that he says
very
that
strange. It's just
Mr. Cult,
like,
they always put on a good show, and
yeah,
everybody's sitting and clapping quietly, except for some diehards up front. And then
yeah.
as soon as they do Don't Fear the Reaper, everybody's rocking. They're all waiting for Don't Fear the Reaper.
I mean, it's your money. You can spend your money at the concert however you want, but you kind of wasted your when you went there to see them perform one song. It's just like
Yeah,
I don't get. I honestly don't get that. Like
yeah,
Journey gets that with "Don't Stop Believing," and there's
right.
so many bands where you can name. It's like people show up for one song. Even Foreigner, look, like they're touring the no original members in that band. I think for the most part, the people that go to these shows don't even realize or even care. They just want to hear the music and they don't really care who's in the band.
Well,
For all
that's
they know, it's the original people that sang on this. They don't even realize it's
mhm.
one of those kind of things, right? But
Oh yeah, exactly.
yeah,
But at this time, like they still put on a good show, but
yeah,
it's interesting how the songs, how they do them then to how they do them now. Let me just say a drink here.
yep,
When they do Hot Rails to Hell these days,
yeah,
they usually only do the first verse
okay.
and the chorus, and then they just go right back into the verse again, and they don't even play the solo. They
Who sings that then? Because that was Joe that sang that, right? Originally.
yes,
So who sings it with them live now? Does Eric just do it or?
it's Richie actually.
Okay, so they're actual. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Richie sings it.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, Richie sings it. Richie will sing a few songs, but usually that's like his big showcase because he'll get all animated when he's singing it and all. Well, actually, speaking of showcases, I say that's his showcase. The other showcase is the other song I'm about to talk about. Then came the last days of May, which I think is beautiful on here and so
Oh yeah,
elegant. It sounds a little reined in when you hear it on the first album. And by the way, I love this album.
yeah,
I love the deep cuts on here too, so much.
no,
Once in a while, they'll play these deep cuts too. But when you go to hear them do Then Came the Last Days of May, now it becomes this 12-minute epic
oh wow, crazy. Yeah, I
because
could.
because Richie will get this well, Buck will get the first solo, and then Richie will play the second solo. Richie's a wonderful
Nice,
player himself,
cool.
and they just stretch it up. Buck will do his thing for a while, and then the crowd will they'll go nuts, and then Richie will do his thing, and then the crowd will go nuts, and then they go back into the song. But they turn into this big where here, it's just so elegant the way they
Yeah,
do, very rhythmic and melodic. It's and
yeah.
and Buck's vocal, which he still sings it live.
He's got a great voice, nice, beautiful voice. He's not an aggressive or loud singer, but just got this nice, beautiful voice, and he pulls it off.
And what's interesting with this band is Buck didn't sing much early on.
No,
I think he only sang like one or two songs an
yeah,
album. And then once he had to hit with Don't Fear the Reaper with his vocal, then
yeah,
all of a sudden he was getting about half
yeah,
for like the
yeah.
rest of his career.
True. Eric probably didn't care. He's like, sure, you sing the song.
Yeah, I'll just stand by here and just play rhythm guitar, just some
Yeah,
flashes of
yeah.
keyboard.
You were last. I wanted to say, yeah, last days of May. Oh my God, that you're right. I think that's blows the studio version away. Like
Mhm.
it's still a good. I think the studio ones has a little bit more spacey.
It
This
is.
one's a little. This one's like darker though. This seems almost like a darker song than the original. That was just a little bit more spacey and kind of thing. This is like a darker feel, and the guitars are more prominent. And like he's got like a really bluesy melodic solo that's really cool, right? Like it's just
Mhm.
way. I think it's miles better. This again. This whole album is highlights. It's amazing album.
It really is. Now, I got to ask you because this is something that sticks in my craw a little bit with some of these 70s bands. What do you
Okay.
think of them doing two covers at the end of the album?
Um, I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of the only thing I'll say is I think they're actually I think they do great versions. Like I like Maserati GT. Yeah, it's been covered by like Yardbirds, Animals, Aerosmith did it on live bootleg.
Yep.
I think they do a phenomenal version though. It's just like an old blues standard kind of thing, right? I guess, or I guess jazz. I don't know. I've never really heard the original, but
I never heard the original. I heard the Yardbirds version first.
yeah. I don't know if there was actually like an original recorded version by the guy that wrote it. I think he might have just wrote it and I'm not sure, but yeah, I think they do it great. Like Buck's got a raw guitar tone on that. Like it's a heavy song. This pretty rocking. Yeah, Born to Be Wild. That's been done a million times, but this is probably one of the earliest covers of it. Like it's been done to death, but like this is probably one of the earlier covers. Yeah, I would have preferred more original songs, but and I do think Born to Be Wild should have maybe opened the album because it ends the last song and it starts with On Your Feet or On Your Knees, Here They Are. So you're ending the album with introducing the band. It's just really weird. It's like, why is that at the end? Like, if you're going to include that, you should have put it at the beginning of the live album, not at the very end. It's just weird.
They also do that at the beginning of Harvester of Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it before the
Yeah,
second
it's just like,
song and
what?
the
Like,
last
you're
song.
introducing the band a bunch of times. It's just really strange.
Right. Yeah, and that's where I was going with the continuity. It throws off
Yeah.
continuity.
We know what band we're listening to. We don't really need to have that thrown in on every song. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Right. And, I mean, the first song, okay, it makes sense, but why did you put it on
Yeah.
the song?
Yeah, the last song. It's just like what? It's just
Yeah.
really it's a weird placement. Yeah, it would have yeah, it only needs to be there once. Either open it with Harvester and Of Eyes or Born to Be Wild, or just don't even have that on there. The whole edit that part out. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird band introduction at the end of the live album. It's just
And
odd.
it's kind of odd how Subhuman even opens the album.
Yeah.
Because it just comes in like slow.
It's just like
It,
yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's a
yeah,
weird
like
continuity, but
but I was reading some the list on Setlist FM, and on some of those dates, and we're the ones who were updating it just to public, right?
yeah.
Some of the shows they did the songs in this order.
Okay.
They're just on this album, and then there's other nights that they mixed up a few and then added a few or took some out. Originally on the 74 tour, they opened with Stairway to the Stars.
Okay, cool. That's a cool
And
song.
even that show that I was telling you about where they had the whole night when T-Rex had to cancel, they opened with
Yeah.
Stairway to the Stars that night. So,
Nice.
but then there were other nights they opened with Subhuman, but it was weird how Subhuman on here, it's an excellent version, but the beginning, it sounds like it was just tacked on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does kind of seem just thrown in.
Right. And that I think, along with the introducing the band at
Yeah.
inopportune times during the show, it kind of breaks up the
Yeah.
continuity.
Yeah.
And I Ain't Got You was originally done by Jimmy Reed.
Okay.
Yes, he was the first. It was written by Calvin Carter, and then it was done.
That's right. Yeah.
I wrote Yardbirds, Animals,
Yeah.
Aerosmith on there on live bootleg. So there were some other songs that were played on this tour, particularly that one night I was talking about.
Okay.
Were there others? Are there other songs that my thing is I wouldn't have put I Ain't Got You and Born to Be Wild on.
Yeah, put two more. I mean, I like the versions. Those are actually I really like hearing them, but
Right.
I
And
mean,
I
on your
think
first live album, like
yeah.
it's
Yeah, for your
kind of
first,
weird.
and it's particularly you got like a 9-minute version of I Ain't Got You. Now it's well
Yeah.
done. but I
Yeah.
would have rather heard two Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's
Yeah.
my thing. Like, you're going the same way I am, and the fact that this is your first live album. You got three
Yeah.
strong studio albums. Okay, the Secret Trees is starting to gain some traction. Wouldn't you want to just put out your stuff to say this is how great we are?
Yeah.
So my thing is, I would have took those out, and I would have
Yeah.
like it's fun. Like I would have opened with Stairway to the Stars,
Okay.
and it went into Subhuman. But then at the end, I would put in Dominance and Submission,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is my favorite Blue Oyster Cult song.
It's up there for me. Yeah, that's a good. That's a great song. Just yeah.
Like that song is just so wicked. That bridge in there is killer. And
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that riff, I can hear that in my head when you say the title. It's just a simple riff, but so catchy and just memorable.
exactly. I mean, there's like other songs like or maybe even end it with Astronomy would have been.
Yeah, yeah. That the fact that's not on here is just what? Like, how's that not on this? It's kind of strange.
Yeah. But it was like a 70s thing there, Sidney.
Yeah.
It's like,
Gotta wonder if that's a label thing. Oh, do two covers and two well-known songs. No one wants to hear your originals. It's like, well,
what was
I
weird
don't know.
though? What was weird though is they put out Some Enchanted Evening
Yeah,
later on after they only do two more studio albums, and that was only a single. At least this is a double. I'm glad we got
yeah,
a
a
double
double
out.
album. Yeah,
It's similar to Kiss and the fact they didn't really have a lot
yeah,
of success yet, but the live album we get a double, which is great.
yeah,
That's awesome. But then they put out a single for Some Enchanted Evening, and I think at that point they were trying to strike while the iron was hot,
yeah.
because at the time it was released, I believe it might have been
Oh,
78.
okay.
I'm going to say 78. Live albums were getting live albums
Oh yeah.
were the huge thing at that point.
Yeah, Frampton Comes Alive, right? So as soon as that was so huge, everyone's like, "Oh, make a live album."
Right. It was
It's
like This Alive one in late 75, and then Frampton Comes Alive in
yeah,
January 76. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, we gotta make a live album. And this one was just a
yeah,
little bit earlier. So it's like, well, okay.
yeah,
Agents of Fortune was huge because of Don't Fear the Reaper. And then Spectres was a big album because of Godzilla and I Love the
yeah,
Night and Golden Age of Leather. And it's like, okay, we got to put another live album out. And it was weird as that's only a 7-song album, and it's not even
yeah.
minutes, and there's two covers on it.
What are the covers on? I see. I'm trying to remember what's on that, but what are the covers on Some Enchanted Evening? It's
I
I know
think
they
we got to
did
get
two.
out of this place by the
Oh
Animals.
yeah. That's right.
I think they covered Born to Be Wild
They
again.
did it twice. There's like a slow version, right? There's that weird, like bluesy, slower version. Like
On
there's
that
like two different versions of
live,
that song. It's weird.
yeah, I know they covered We Got to Get Out of This Place. Kick Out the Jams.
Oh, that's a cool version. Like, yeah, that's I didn't even know that was a cover when I first heard it, and then I realized, oh,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
MC5. But yeah, yeah, you're right. Yes, and they did do Born to Be Wild. So yeah, they covered the same song again. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean it's like saying it's like saying your catalog isn't that great.
Or
But like you said,
yeah,
I'm thinking, record label.
yeah.
Record label may be putting up, but it's weird though because now you go see BOC and they don't do any cover versions. They
They
don't do
don't do Born to Be Wild. I'm surprised they don't do. I guess not. What's the point? It's been done to death now, right? Like
yeah,
everyone's done it now at this point.
right, exactly. So what do you think of the sound quality on this album, the way it's recorded?
It's very raw, but I don't know. I like it though. I like the energy. Like you can tell. I don't. It's hard to really find out what if there's any overdubs. There's not really much information. It just says that there was little overdubs, whatever that means. I don't know if there's like maybe little keyboard things that were added just like in the background. But like the guitars sound live because they sound very raw. The vocals sound live. Like to me, it sounds probably 95% live and maybe
With you
some
on that.
keyboard things that are like maybe added in later because yeah, I don't know how did that work because Alan did rhythm and keys. He can't do both at the same time, so I'm not sure really how that would have worked live. Like I don't know what they would have done. So maybe there was some, but I mean
Well,
Eric played rhythm too, so
you had Eric playing style
yeah,
guitar there.
And he
So
did synthesizers too, Eric, right? He did
yeah,
synths.
they would
So
bounce around. Yeah,
they
he
probably just went back and forth on guitar and switching on the keyboards and the synths. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's I think it sounds great though. Like it's very if you're more looking for more like a clean production, then yeah, you would probably hate this album because it doesn't sound clean at all. It's very raw, but I like it. I like raw production. Like I like how raw this sounds because it's like, well, it's a live album. It should sound raw. Like it's
I love the way the rhythm section's recorded on this too.
oh yeah, it's just
Well,
so fiery and energetic. It's just phenomenal.
yes, I do love how I do
But
like this recording quite a bit.
yeah,
The only thing is, it's just, and I said this before, it's just the fact that these are for different cities,
yeah.
so you can tell it's not all from one show, and that
It
kind of
just threw a bunch of songs from all over the place that were so it's yeah, it's weird.
it's weird in that aspect.
Yeah,
And but I think they, for the most part, picked the best songs on here. I mean,
yeah,
the only thing, I just wouldn't put the two covers on there, but I mean, I
yeah,
look at, those are my favorite songs from Tyranny of Mutation. That's my favorite
yeah.
Blue Oyster Cult album right there. There's not too
Mine
much.
too. So
Yeah. Oh, that's your
yeah,
favorite?
Tyranny Mutation's easily my favorite. Like
Nice.
that's an easy answer. As soon as someone would ask me, it's easily Tyranny. Yeah, easily.
Secret Treaties was close at one point. It might
Yeah.
be my favorite at one point, but over my lifetime, I would definitely say Tyranny. And Tyranny was the first one I bought the actual studio album from after I bought that comp that I no longer have.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I would have instead of the covers, I probably would have maybe thrown in like OD'd on Lights itself. I'd like to hear how that would have came off
oh,
back then. Probably would have been sped up and more raw. Um, other song, yeah, like you said, Dominance and Submission. Transmaniac on MC, that's a wicked song. Opens up the day. Like there's so much great songs that they could have included instead of Born to Be Wild. And
yeah.
yeah, the Maserati GT. Like it's just yeah, to think there's some other songs that they could have really put on there instead. Like
Yeah, I
yeah,
have.
because if you remove that, that's like what, 15, 16 minutes between those two songs. You could
Yeah.
have just, even if you didn't, even if you just kept those, if they could have just thrown on other songs on there and just kept them to like the same limit, right? Instead of like stretching them out, you could have put three more songs on there at least and kept them like the length of the original, because the songs aren't too long, some of those other songs that, and you could have had, there's no reason you couldn't have Dominance and Submission and Transmaniac on and Career of Evil, maybe like some other
Yes.
stuff. Just I don't know, but
Yeah, I
I
would
still
have.
think it's a solid album though. Like it's not bad by any means. Like the
Oh, no,
playing is
I dig it.
phenomenal, and like you said, the rhythm section, the drumming, and the bass is so up front too. Like you can really, he's doing some crazy. Like he gets some spots to shine where it's just him, and it's just incredible. Just
First
an
of,
under bass player.
oh yeah, no doubt about it. You don't hear enough of
No,
Joe. Definitely
no,
not.
no. The average person, you mentioned Joe Bouchard. Like, I don't even know who that is. People will just
Right.
like, I don't know who that is. It's like, yeah,
Versus Cities on Flame on here is wicked as well. And
oh
that's what
yeah,
we'll do as an encore, by the way.
yeah. And him drumming and singing that at the same time. Oh my God, that's phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, like, to me, yeah, I would have put Stairway to Stars at the beginning to give it a proper
Yeah,
beginning. And I would have took out the two covers, and I would have put on Dominance and Submission, maybe OD'd on Life Itself. I know they're doing their encores, but they're
yeah,
doing cover songs in their encores at the shows back then.
yeah,
Maybe they wanted it to feel more like the Blue Oyster Cult live experience. But
yeah,
their songs are they're so strong on their own. I would have preferred it to be a fully original album.
yeah. That's true.
Right. So, Sydney, how would you rank On Your Feet or On Your Knees on a scale of 1 to 10?
You know what? Even though, like, yeah, even though I'm not crazy about having two covers on there, I think they are well done. And like I said, the only thing that also really would drag it down, like I said, would be Harvester of Eyes because the lead sound a little bit buried. But like, just because the playing is so good and I love these songs, and like I said, yeah, the covers are there, but I think they do a phenomenal job with them. I'd still give it a solid 9.5. To me, it's almost a perfect album, regardless of all those weird, there's just mix of just songs thrown all over the place. There's other bands that do that too, like Strangers in the Night is an iconic album, and that's from different shows. But yeah, it flows a little bit weird with like the whole, like I said, with the ending with the band opening and introduction thing, but I'd still give it a solid 9.5. Musically, it's phenomenal. Like you just hear it. It's just, the guitar's nuts, the bass, everyone on their instruments is great. Everyone that sings is great, and that's what another thing that makes them stick out from a lot of other bands. I mean, you have other bands like the Beatles; they all sang. Kiss, those guys all sang. But I find these guys, they've all phenomenal voices and all completely different voices from each other. But the vocal melodies and harmonies when they do sing together sound great. Like take "Burning for You" for example. I know it's got really nothing to do with this album, but like their vocals just in general are phenomenal. Like Buck's just got like the more soothing kind of like soft but really nice voice. Eric kind of has like that really New York kind of vocal style, and just, it's a really cool kind of gritty voice. But yeah, then the others, everyone's a phenomenal singer in this band, and they all pull their weight on their instrument too. Like no one's slacking off on this. Like it's just phenomenal because Buck's a phenomenal lead guitar player. His riffs and his guitars, and the other guy, the bass and drummer, are keeping up with him. Like it's not just he's not just waiting for the other guys. Okay, catch up to me. They're all playing this fast, and they're just firing all on all cylinders on this. So I just think I don't know. I think it's a killer live album, regardless of all those the weird idiosyncrasies with it. But I still think it's solid. Like it's yeah. I have a feeling you're probably gonna go a little bit lower, but
Little.
yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go in an 8.
Okay.
Okay, because of some of these idiosyncrasies that we're talking about. But I couldn't go lower than an 8 because you got
No.
definitive versions of Subhuman and Hot
Yeah.
Rails to Hell and the Red and the Black and Seven Screaming Disbusters and ME 262
Yeah.
for starters. You could probably say that about most of the songs on here. I mean, I don't know if they ever attack these songs on a live
Yeah.
album the way they do here ever again. I love what they put on here outside of the covers. I would have took the covers off. I would have started with Stairway to Stars. It put some 2 kick-ass originals, Blue Oyster Cult originals at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just the sequencing I think is very good. It's just the fact that you're getting an introduction on them on the second song and the last song seems a little odd. I would have edited that out. Maybe not even have an introduction at all. Just right into start. Even just going right into.
You know what? They could have mixed it up. They could have taken that, even if they were introduced on Born to Be Wild during the show, they could have sliced it from Born to Be Wild and attached it to Subhuman to make it seem like it was played at that. Even though if it's fake and it's whatever, no one's gonna really notice the difference. That would have sounded cool to like introduce the band at the very beginning, not the second and last song. Like what? It's weird.
Exactly. Yeah, it is just a little off-putting. But I mean, I give this an 8. I think we got they sound very hungry. The band is on fire. I love the jams. They're very, very tight. You were talking about the way they sing their harmonies together. They're wonderful. You talk about studio songs. I think the harmonies on Redeemed from the first album are better. I mean, there's so many that we can talk about. But yeah, I would give this an 8. I mean, if I would give it a 9 if you took out, if there was more continuity and took out the covers, I'd probably go 9.
Yeah.
I do like the production. I do like that it's not too touched up. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's raw, but not to the point where it sounds like a demo or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's very professional.
It's not a soundboard recording.
No, it's not a soundboard recording, anything like that. Yeah. So I would go with an 8 for On Your Feet or On Your Knees. So to everyone out there watching, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Blue Oyster Cult, On Your Feet or On Your Knees. What do you think of Blue Oyster Cult and what do you think of this album? Do you think this is their best live album, or would you go with Some Enchanted Evening or Extraterrestrial Live or some of their other live albums that they put out in the 21st century? What are your favorite songs off this album? What are your favorite Blue Oyster Cult songs in general? Is Buck Dharma the most underrated guitar player in rock and roll? Please let us know in the comments. Sidney, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And talking about this great live album that doesn't get enough love or recognition. Blue Oyster Cult, On Your Feet or On Your Knees. So, Sidney, what do you have going on Slogan's Rock and Metal Extravaganza?
So what are we doing? Friday, so tomorrow actually. Tomorrow we do a lot of music hangouts where we just play music or it's just like screen sharing music off of YouTube. But yeah, tomorrow we do our so it started off as like a yearly anniversary of the channel. So it was all requests. So for like our viewers just sent in their requests for us to play. So we did that and it went over well. So you're like, let's just do this every month and just do like a end of the month request thing, one of the near the end of the month. So that's what's coming up on tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing that, and then 7 p.m. Eastern if you're in the U.S. And then I got shows Saturday. We're continuing our Michael Schenker series. So we started off with Lonesome Crow, just talked about that. And then so now we're doing the 5 70s UFO albums. So there's 5 of us on that show. And what I did at the end of Lonesome Crow, we like spun like a little wheel thing and with the albums to decide who gets what. So we kind of tried to make it like somewhat fun, make a game out of it. So we all ended up getting an album to talk about. So each one of us is going to talk about one of the 5 albums. We're also going to pick like our favorite song from each of those 5 albums as well. So that'll be kind of fun where we each get like an album from those 5 to review and just pick favorite songs off of that. Then playing more music on Sunday. We did this Rockin' Around the World series where we play music from a whole bunch of different countries, and so yeah, that's what's kind of coming up, and yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. But really love doing it with Logan. He's really fun co-host. I can't imagine doing it with anyone else. Like he's great. So I love having him on there. So I wanted to give a shout out to him too. You've had him on here a few times. So yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's what's coming up.
you guys are a wonderful rapport together. I mean, your shows are so
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Yeah, we try to make it fun. It's a little bit loose. We get a little bit silly and R-rated sometimes, but always very influenced by Grant because we went on there and it's just very, very loose. So yeah, but yeah.
Well, Grant, it's very good at making the shows very loose.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Do what you love, and we'll talk to you soon.